halter top, but we're actually not getting to the sewing or the fabric or anything like that today, because we have to, first and foremost, make a pattern. The first thing I do when I make a garment, if I don't already have a pattern or, know what I'm doing measurement-wise and stuff, is I have to make a pattern, because I can't have the luxury of going out to a fabric store and buying a pattern or buying clothes that fit me. So we have to make patterns to our own sizes, and then we can use that to make garments. And yeah, I could use children's patterns, but even then, children's patterns are actually not the shape of my body with the curves that I have, and with the measurements I have to do a lot of altering to a children's pattern, that it's actually just easier to start from scratch, and it's actually a very useful tool to learn pattern making, especially if you have a uniqueness or something that, the world of fashion does not really have out there as easily as other things. So we make patterns because it's easy. Let's get to it. We're going to start by making the pattern for the whole top. And to start making a pattern, I lay out my pencil, my Sharpie, my pattern paper, my scissors that I use on paper, not fabric. Those are different things. And if I have an idea of what I want, I'll lay out a garment that's similar, or have a picture up or something, or I'll have a guide to show me how to make the pattern. This one, I'm just actually freehanding. Now that the pattern section is all set up, we're going to actually start by making the waistband pattern. I want my waistband to not be my full back. I want it to be about half of my back. So we're going to take about my half of my back measurement versus the length of my back, cut in half. Because we are going to be cutting this on a fold. And when you cut on a fold, it's basically saying you're cutting two at once, but it's connected. So once we create straight line edges to go off of, we'll be going up vertically and drawing that desired height or length of the waistband. And then we're going to be going across horizontally to cover the length cut in half of the waistband. And then you will essentially be getting a box once you line up everything. And one of your sides you have to decide is the center fold line, which is where you will be folding the fabric over itself and tracing your pattern onto that. After that, I add about a 1/4 inch around the whole thing, except on the center fold line for the seam allowance. We're not doing this on the center fold line because, again, it's going to be folding over the fabric, so there's no need for a seam allowance to be there when it's going to be connected to another edge of the fabric that's going to make the whole waistband. So we're going to start by drawing the line for the bottom measurement of the boob cup, which is where it'll attach to the waistband, on the bottom, not on the side. I'm erasing the line that I drew because I decided to go down a little lower than the original line I drew, just for anti-waist, because I am an anti-waster, just in the sense of fabric and patterns and projects. I don't very much like to waste. So next we're going to measure the side of where the waistband should attach, but I actually ended up not attaching my waistband because I didn't really think about creating that when cutting out the waistband. So we'll get to what I did to solve that project later. This is actually only a couple inches because the waistband is just supposed to kind of pull on the left and the right side to secure it, so you don't show on the left and the right side. It's not really a big angle because it's not the main coverage area. The main coverage area is on the side that's in towards your sternum of the body. Next, we will be measuring that outward angle, that angle that goes towards the armpit, and we are just drawing it as a straight line first and getting that correct measurement, and then we're going to end up rounding the angle out. It's kind of how my pattern making goes, is you do the math and the angles, and then you round it out to match the body that you are shaping. Next, we're lining up the measurement that goes in towards the sternum and making sure it matches what I was looking for on the piece that I'm trying to add. Now comes the part that creates the shape of the body. We're rounding out those edges while still making sure that our start point and our end point are the angled measurements we went with. And this is going to create the shape of the boob cup or the chest cup that we want to cover our chest pack. Whether you're male, female, non-binary, and you're looking to cover your chest packs in a certain way, you want to go towards the shape of your chest pack because you're the one that knows your body best. Next, I'm going to highlight the correct shape with the Sharpie, so that way we can erase all of the angular looks. Next, we're going to take the pattern making roller that basically has all these little lines in it to tell me seam allowance, marks, 1/4 inch, 1/2 inch, 1/8 inch, all that stuff. It's really handy, centimeters, inches. I definitely suggest one if you're gonna ever make patterns. It's perfect for straight angles, but you need something else for rounded edges. But we're gonna go along the boob cup pattern and just mark the 1/4 inch line at every single angle. Because when you're working with rounded edges, you need to do multiple angles, which is why we're going at this pencil first, because as you see, we're going to be creating a lot of lines that won't connect, and then we're going to eventually have to connect them all up. And once they're connected all up, then we can draw the official line with the Sharpie and erase the pencil marks. Now we add the final pattern line, which is the seam line, which is where you would usually cut fabric over and create a little fold in for the shape of the chest pack. I don't know if I'm going to be doing this. I don't know if I'll have the time, but it is something that I will want to go back and do. But that is actually the end of the chest pack pattern. Next up is the neckband, which works very similarly to the waistband. We're going to start with our desired neck measurement, cut it in half, draw that line, and then we're going to go up about 1 inch because that's my desired width of my neckband, and we're going to draw a parallel line. And then we're going to connect the two lines. And then one side is going to be on a center fold. We will end up cutting this, but that will be when we're sewing it. And then we're going to go around and add again a 1/4 seam allowance around all edges except for the center fold edge. We will also be adding a spot for the neck attachment. We are going to just use a loop and hand sew button. In the future, I may use snaps or whatever. I just don't have those for my press currently. Now that we're done with the pattern making, it's time to cut out the pieces. We're going to be cutting out 2 pieces of the chest pack in a jacket fabric for the lining, 2 pieces of the chest pad fabric in the final fabric, then a neckband in the final fabric, a waistband in the final fabric, and then we also did a waistband in this pink pleather-like fabric that I was going to use for underneath, but ended up actually not using. Okay, y'all, so that is the pattern making. I hope you enjoyed it. We will be getting to sewing very shortly soon. I am super excited to work with this fabric. I'm super excited to make this top. It's obviously not going to be perfect. It's obviously going to be a prototype, and obviously I'll have to perfect it somehow soon, but I'm just really, really excited about it because it's the beginning of something I never had growing up. And now, I can actually see everything I want coming into fruition. I will see you guys for the sewing, and I will see you guys in the next video. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful, stay positive, and keep being you. Bye, y'all!